While the world scrolls, you grind. While they chase likes, you chase growth. While they're waiting to feel motivated, you're moving in silence, building something that doesn't need to be announced. Because you've learned the future isn't built in public, that it's built when no one's watching, that it's built at 5 a.m. when it's cold and quiet, that it's built when you choose discipline over distractions, again and again and again. You don't need to post every win. You don't need to explain every sacrifice. You don't need to beg for applause, because real success, it doesn't need validation. It needs consistency. Every rep you push when no one's around, every dollar you save while others spend, every book you read instead of wasting another hour, that's not wasted effort. That's compound growth. Your results might not show today. People might not notice tomorrow, but keep stacking. Keep showing up. Keep quietly winning. Because one day, you'll walk in the room, and they'll feel it. They'll feel your confidence. They'll feel your presence. They'll feel your results. Not because you were loud, but because you were undeniable. Don't worry if no one claps for you right now. Your future will. And when that moment comes, when everything you've worked for finally starts to reveal itself, you won't need to say a word. Because your actions already spoke volumes. Every early morning, every lonely night, every time you chose growth over comfort, discipline over ease, vision over distraction, it led to this. The people who once questioned you will act like they always believed in you. The ones who mocked your silence will now chase your wisdom. But you won't be bitter, because you were never doing it for them. You were doing it for the version of you that refused to quit. The version that nobody saw, but you believed in. And that's what makes you different. You didn't need a crowd to keep going. You didn't need motivation to be consistent. You didn't need permission to start. You just did the work. You just kept showing up. You just stayed dangerous in silence. And now you walk with a different energy. You don't flex it. You carry it. Because it was earned, not given. When people ask, how did you do it? Tell them this. I stopped talking about what I was going to do, and I just did it. And while they were busy trying to look successful, you were busy becoming it. They wanted the spotlight before they built the skill. They wanted applause without effort. They wanted success without sacrifice. But not you. You embraced the grind, the real grind, the one without trophies, without cameras, without comfort, the grind that tests your mind before it ever rewards your hands. You weren't chasing quick wins. You were planting seeds, seeds that nobody else could see, seeds watered with discipline, patience, and quiet belief. And yeah, there were days you doubted yourself. There were moments you questioned if it was even worth it. Nights where the noise in your head was louder than the world outside. But you kept going, because deep down, you knew all great things are born in the dark. Diamonds, roots, legends. None of them start in the light. And now that you're rising, people will say you're lucky, but they didn't see the sacrifices. They didn't see the Friday nights you stayed home to study, the weekends you traded for work, the sleep you gave up, the fun you passed on, the shortcuts you refused to take. They'll never understand what it cost, and they don't need to, because you didn't do it for credit. You did it for change. You did it because you were tired of feeling stuck, tired of breaking promises to yourself, tired of starting over every Monday, tired of living below your potential. You flipped the switch. You made a decision, and now you're becoming someone unstoppable. Not because you're the loudest, but because you're the most committed. And here's the truth. Once you've tasted your own potential, you can't go back to average. Once you've seen what you're capable of when you go all in, when you stop negotiating with your excuses and start honoring your standards, you can't unsee it. Ordinary stops feeling comfortable. Comfort starts feeling dangerous, and every step backward feels like betrayal, not to others, but to yourself. Because now, the standard is different. Now, you don't just want success, you expect it. You don't just dream big, you prepare big. You don't just set goals, you build the habits to crush them. And the beauty is, this version of you isn't temporary, that it's not based on hype, that it's built on identity, that you've turned effort into a lifestyle, discipline into a habit, Focus into your second nature. Now, when you look in the mirror, you don't see someone trying to change, you see someone who has. The kind of person who gets things done whether or not it's convenient. The kind of person who shows up without an audience. The kind of person who no longer needs to explain themselves, because their life is becoming the explanation. And when others notice, when they ask how you did it, you'll smile. Not because it was easy, but because you know exactly what it took, and you'd do it all over again. Now the question isn't if you'll make it. The question is, how far will you go? Because the momentum you've created, it's real, it's powerful, it's yours. And if you keep showing up every day without needing the world's permission or applause, that momentum becomes unstoppable. The old version of you? They would have stopped here, satisfied with small progress, distracted by small comfort, afraid of what pushing further might require. But this version of you, you're not just chasing improvement, that you're chasing evolution. You want to see how far your mind can stretch, how strong your body can get, how deep your discipline can go, how much your life can expand when you refuse to live like everyone else. This is rare air now. Most people don't make it this far. They get bored, they get tired, they go back to their comfort zone, and they call it balance. But not you, that you've sacrificed too much, that you've rewired your routines, that you've killed off habits that didn't serve you, that you've separated from people who didn't respect your vision. And now you're not just building success. You're building proof. Proof that a quiet worker becomes a loud winner. Proof that consistency wins over hype. Proof that when you fight for yourself in private, you never have to beg for anything in public. So keep going. Keep building. You haven't even scratched the surface of what you can do. Because one day, maybe soon, maybe years from now, you'll look back at this very season and smile. Not because it was easy, but because this was the moment you refused to settle. This was the chapter where you stopped being a prisoner to your past and became the author of your future. The chapter where you silenced the doubts, ignored the noise, and turned your pain into fuel. The moment where no one clapped, but you kept climbing anyway. And those sacrifices that no one saw, they'll show up in ways no one can ignore. In the way you walk into a room. In the way opportunities begin to chase you. In the way your life starts reflecting your effort, not your excuses. See, average doesn't live here anymore. That you've outgrown it, that you've outworked it, that you've outlasted the version of you who used to give up. Now you move different. You think different. You are different, that you've turned your vision into a mission, that you've made your discipline louder than your distractions. And you've proven, day after day, that greatness doesn't come from one big moment. It comes from 1,000 quiet ones. So keep rising. Keep earning it. And when they ask how you did it, just smile. Because the truth is, you became everything they said you couldn't, and you did it when nobody was watching. And when the world finally notices, when the same people who once overlooked you now call you inspiring, when the doubters turn into followers and the silence turns into applause, you won't be shocked. Because you earned every bit of it. You'll remember the nights you wanted to quit, but didn't. The days you were tired, sore, unheard, but still showed up. The moments you questioned yourself, but chose faith over fear. And that's the difference. You didn't wait to feel ready. You didn't wait to be chosen. You chose yourself. Every single day, in small invisible ways, you built a life no one saw coming. Not because you needed to prove something to the world, but because you refused to live a life that didn't match the fire inside you. And now, you are the proof that hard work works, that consistency compounds, that discipline creates freedom. So walk proudly, walk fully, because everything ahead of you was built by the version of you who never stopped when it was hard, when it was lonely, when it was unfair. That version of you is the real hero here, and you owe it to them to keep going. So now the spotlight doesn't define you, it follows you. You don't chase attention. You attract respect, because what you've built isn't just success, it's substance. That you've become the kind of person who doesn't just talk about goals, you live them. You don't just post about discipline, You embody it, and you don't just hope things work out. You make them work out. Every step forward, every early morning, every sacrifice, it's all added up, and now your life isn't built on wishes, that it's built on standards. You don't need to yell to be heard anymore. Your results speak loud. Enough. Your presence says it all. And the people who once questioned you, they're quiet now. Not because they've changed, but because you did that. You're no longer trying to prove them wrong, that you're just too busy proving yourself right. Right for betting on your dream. Right for trusting your gut when no one else did. Right for building something that can't be shaken, because it was built with intention. So this is your reminder. Keep moving. Keep rising. Keep choosing growth, even when it's hard, even when it's slow. Because everything you've fought for, it's already unfolding. And what's coming next?